Oh, that one is muted. Well, it's not muted.
Calling this meeting of the Quicken Creek Art League to order. I'd like to welcome all of our members who are here tonight. Do we have any guests with us tonight? Hello? Would you stand and introduce yourself so everybody will know you? Please.
All right. Hi, my name is Joey. I'm just helping out with all the video stuff today.
Okay, and Carrie is back, and you know, she will be with us at all of our meetings. She has taken some pressure off some of the rest of us. We don't want any more Novembers to happen. I'm going to turn over the meeting right now to the nomination committee and let them make their presentation. It's Alex, Bobby Sorensen, and Sandra Oliver. One of you has.
Can y'all hear? Can you ask if they can hear? Because
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Welcome.
You know me, my name is Alexandra DeFrancesco. Everybody calls me Alex. And I am the chairman of the nominating committee. And this is from the 13th of April meeting that we had last week by our committee, which again is Bobby Sorensen, Sandra Oliver, and myself. And I'm presenting the slate of officers for the executive board, and that we recommend. I was up at 2 o'clock this morning, so I'm so sorry. President Kelly Fox, Vice President Britton, and Treasurer Maureen Carter. Could we have those people stand up just in case if you're here? Okay. So are there any nominations from the floor?
I don't have any nominations, but didn't we always do this in May?
No.
Sandra cannot hear, but they asked him.
May is a member here.
That's
When we announce,
all the people.
everybody takes over their new role.
I always thought we voted on the number in April. And then the May. I don't.
There's none. Okay, here, do I? What's wrong with my tongue today? Is there a motion to accept this slate? Is there a second? Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so this, so Kay Fox, Deb Kelly, Shirley Britton, and Maureen Carter are our new 22-23 executive board, and they will start their what is it called? I don't know. I'm tired today, so I feel sorry. Place at the end. Sorry about that. I'll go home and go to bed.
I'd like to again thank you for having faith in me for another year as your leader, and also with the great group that we're going to have. And as my right arm, left arm, and they will carry me, I'm sure. Member of the year, Maureen.
We have a whole bunch of nominees. We have 9, which since I've been a member, we've never had that many. And so the voting is going to be online, and just all the descriptions that people have sent in saying nice things about these 9 people is also online. So read everything and then make your choice, and I'll tell you who's been nominated in alphabetical order, okay? Maureen Carter, Sonia Dimmler, Alex DeFrancisco, Kay Fox, Lane McWilliams, Sandra Oliver, Bobby Sorensen, Kay Stallings, and Barbara Tusing. So the voting will be online, and it'll be over before our next meeting. Okay, that's it. The voting starts on Wednesday. Okay, Wednesday. Barbara's got it all set up, so all she had to do is just flip the switch.
And please go online and vote. We have so many deserving people. I can't begin. If your name wasn't there, you still deserve it, just so you know. This is a real strong organization, and we are only as strong as our weakest members. So, you know, we don't really have any weak members. So we're really strong. So thank you. I'm going to turn the meeting over to Deb Kelly, our Vice President. She's going to introduce your speaker, and we're going straight into the program. Yes, Alex.
If anybody knows how to do Facebook or Instagram, could you let me know? Because Barbara needs some help with social media,
Social media part of, to help us out. I mean,
yeah,
we
just-
really need a volunteer to help with social media.
Yeah, you know, because it's just a little bit overwhelming right now. So-
Especially with everything going on.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So sorry.
No problem. Deb?
I'm very excited about our speaker tonight, Kelly Pelfrey, and I think you're going to enjoy this presentation very much. The topic is, should I post? And I pose a question to all of you. How many of you think you need to know wrap it up. Usually that's not a problem for me. How many of you would say that you feel totally comfortable with everything social media driven? How many of you think that you could learn some things that would really help you with your art and your business? You have come to the right place. So the topic is, should I post? Why the answer is yes, and so much more. Let me introduce Kelly to you. Kelly graduated with a Bachelor of Fine Arts from the University of South Carolina in 2003. She is a lifelong resident of the Palmetto State, and she highlights the beauty of the Southern landscape, its hospitality, and deep sense of home in her still life and interior works. And I encourage you to take a look at the website. I told her when she first came in that her website just made me feel good. And I went back and looked at it several times. And when I was looking at my website, so mine doesn't feel so good. So, but her website is beautiful. So I encourage you to take a look at it once she's done with that. Much of her early career centered on teaching art to children. Since 2020, she has emerged as a highly sought after contemporary impressionist, creating paintings which speak with glory. Her paintings are included in private collections throughout the United States and Canada. So I would like to turn the floor over to Kelly and let her run with the show. And if you have any questions, please wait until the end of the presentation. We've already collected a great number of questions from our members, and she's going to address those during the presentation. If you have an additional question, just wait until the end and she will take care of that. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me tonight. I'm truly honored. So I feel like I've been welcomed into your home, and that makes me feel so good. To tell you a little bit about my story, and it'll completely relate to what we're talking about tonight. I had my fourth child in 2019, my sweet little Lily. So now she's a 2.5 rambunctious girl. And I was teaching full-time as an art teacher in Newberry County. And I love teaching. I love saying, yes.
And she was also did the sailboat at the same time.
That's right. That's right. And I love doing that too. And you're absolutely right. Good memory. And I love teaching. I love seeing my students' faces light up when they would see the supplies all laid out and they think, oh, we're painting today, or we were doing ceramics. Oh, we get to use clay. And that part of my job, I absolutely loved. But as a mom of 4, the part that was hard was waking up, of course, very, very early in the morning, leaving my home at about 6:30 a.m., dropping off one of my small children to a childcare situation, and then getting back home after teaching 7 or 8 classes, what felt like nonstop, choking down your meal at some point, about 4:30 in the afternoon on an early day, and then preparing a meal for my family, and then going to bed and doing it all over again. And you think about, well, when was I going to whip out a painting? You know, like right after that. So I was exhausted and just craving the ability to paint more. I know God made me an artist. I've always loved creating art, and I've had the joy of getting to do it most of my life, but I was just so craving getting to do it more. And so I began thinking, well, what if I could make this money, make enough where I could actually stay home. And my husband wasn't on board at first. My income was necessary for our family. And so we both were praying about it, and we came up with the idea of, well, what if we just tried it for 6 months? Worst case scenario, the state is in need of teachers. I'll go back and I'll just have had a longer maternity leave, because at the time I was pregnant and about to have our little Lily. And so what happened is it's like a dream come true. I was able to, since then, nearly 2 years later, more than triple my income. My husband was able to leave his job and focus on his doctoral program. And I say all this to say, I could not have imagined that was possible. If someone had told me, I said, well, that sounds nice, but that's not reality. And what I found is that social media, just specifically Instagram, has been a tool that has made what was a dream become a reality. And I'm going to share a lot about Instagram tonight, and I'll tell you why Instagram versus just Facebook, although I think Facebook is a good tool. And I'm going to give you a lot of the whys and a lot of strategies, but what I'm not going to necessarily do is show you, click on this to post this. These are the sorts of things that if you are taking notes, you might even write down, look on YouTube. Because YouTube, if I say, when you create a post, you go, how do I even create a post? Then I would Google on YouTube, how do I create a post? And then you can slow down. And if anything feels overwhelming, you can take your time to look up some of those technical pieces. And I will, of course, be more than happy to answer all your questions at the end. So I told you a little bit about myself. And so now, why Instagram? Well, Instagram has over 1 billion users. They browse for an average of 53 minutes per day. It's the second most downloaded free app in the Apple Store. It's the 9th most popular on Google Query. And 83% of Instagram users discover, this is huge, new products and services on the platform. Instagram is a visual platform, as you know. And so it is absolutely perfect for artists to highlight their work. And I have found that at least 90% of my paying clients utilize Instagram accounts. Facebook is probably so much better platform for keeping up with your cousins or coworkers or friends. It's very much a social, tell me how your day was platform, whereas Instagram really drives people to make purchases. And I purchase things. I don't feel taken advantage of. If someone's sharing something and I think, oh, that's beautiful, I would like one, then I click and buy it. And I feel like they've done me a favor by telling me about it because it's something that I would have wanted. And that is what I found on Instagram as well. So before you ever, if you haven't created an account, or even if you have, the first thing I would recommend doing before I even tell you the do's is to decide what matters to you as an artist for yourself as a professional. For some artists, creating art and never selling it is great for them. That's what they want to do. For some artists, connecting with other artists is the goal of their art. For some artists, making statements, whether that's about an issue you care about, that is something that is the goal of your art. For me, I've decided that there's two main answers of why I would want to spend my time engaging on social media. It's because I want to serve people by creating paintings that bring them joy. And I also want to sell them. And you go, well, sometimes as artists we go, I want to sell my art. Is that bad? No. What's the alternative? You create all these paintings and you become a hoarder and you're like swallowed by your own art. You're keeping it to yourself. You're not sharing. You've been given a gift, and that gift isn't for you to keep all to yourself. It's to share with others. And there's so many people that if they saw your art, they go, oh, that's beautiful. I want it. So what I found is that when I sell my art, I get to spend more time. This is my little girl, Katie. She's 4, almost 5. I get to spend more time at home. I'm there after they're done with preschool. My husband gets to take them to preschool and pick them up because he's also at home. And then I'm home and we have lunch and we get to paint together. And so selling my art enables me to do that. And it enables me to paint more. I don't stress out about, oh, will I be able to afford the canvases? Will I be able to afford the paint? Will I be able to afford any other materials? Because wonderful people who are investing in my art then invest in the fact that I get to create more. So when you sell your art, you're not selling out. You're actually blessing people by getting to create more things that they want to enjoy, and you're not hoarding it and keeping it to yourself. So those are my 2 main reasons. I want to serve and I want to sell. So once you decide you're clear on your why, then what do? You get started. Now, the thing that can be the most overwhelming is step 1, getting started. And some of you have Instagram accounts and you've already done that. Good job. And some of you are going like, I don't even know where to begin. And that is where getting started, if you go into your app store and you can do this, of course, on the computer. I primarily use my phone, but use what you're comfortable with because that's what you're going to use the most. And you're going to create an account. I recommend starting with a public page. You can have your own personal page and you can have a public account. A public account means anyone can follow you. So anyone, anywhere that has access to Instagram can follow your account. It went away. There it is. Okay. Can you go back to the one?
Oh, sorry.
It's okay, no problem. You want to make it clear that you are an artist. So, for example, my account name, if you go right after this, you're going to all make an account and you're going to follow me. And I am at Kelly Pelfrey Art. You know my name and you know she has something to do with art. You might be your name plus studio. You might be your name plus artist. I highly recommend that. Some people have generic names and I'm not, once again, I'm sure they had a good idea where it might be like Heart of the South Studios. And you're thinking, well, who's Heart of the South Studios? And you might even know the artist name, but you're like, what was her Instagram? It's something that has to do with flowers. I can't remember. Beautiful Bouquet Studio. And while that's lovely, it's hard to search for. And you eventually will become your brand. If someone Googles Kelly Pelfrey, I am lucky I married a man with not a common last name. But if somebody Googles Kelly Pelfrey, I pop up because I'm beginning to be known by my name. If someone Googles South Carolina artist, I'm not the first one to pop up. So you want people looking for you. And when you are your name, they'll find you. Where you see artists in South Carolina, I could have put my name again. But I already said what my name was. So now if someone's searching for an artist in South Carolina, that helps me pop up again. And so that was strategic and on purpose. It also, when you're creating an account, it'll ask you like what your occupation is. And so mine says artist. My profile, in your profile, you'll be able to put your little bio. Mine says celebrating beauty, one visible brushstroke at a time. I have a very painterly style where my brushstrokes are visible. So that definitely defined my art. And then I tell them where they can find it. Fine art available at Shane Gallery. That's Shane Gallery in Charlotte. I also often have collections with the Christenberry collection, an online gallery that's actually local to Columbia. And then I put my new book is coming. So I want people who click on my profile to see that at kellypelfrey.com. Now, if you're not with the gallery or you do not have other places where your art might be available, you do want to put your website, or if you're planning to post and sell directly on Instagram, you might say fine art available on Tuesdays at noon, or you might say releasing new work and put the date. This is where people are going to know where they can buy it. So immediately they can click and know. So you could say releasing new work on Instagram, May 24th. And then when people see that, they go, oh, where she or he is going to release on Instagram, May 24th, or where you're located, boutiques. If you're going to be at the farmer's market a certain day, this sorts of things you can put, and you can change that all the time, or you can put some things that you want to keep for a long time. Introduce yourself. So you're going to want to introduce yourself in one of your first posts. If you haven't posted an introduction in a while, do it regularly. It's really time for me to do it again. And what I would post is a photo of yourself, and if you don't mind clicking on my Instagram, thank you so much. I would post a photo of yourself, and it would be great if your art was also in the picture. If that's, you can take a selfie. You don't have to hire a photographer for this. Just have good lighting from the natural window. I actually took this photo with my phone propped up on a window ledge, me sitting in front of a large canvas that she's going to pull up in just a second. So you're going to want to have an image that shows you with your art, if at all possible. So
Which picture?
if you scroll just a little bit more, there, right there, that one. Okay, so this image, this one I was saying thank you. I'd sold out a collection the night before, and I just wanted to say a big thank you. But what I would do is if I was introducing myself, in my caption, I would say, I'm thrilled to meet you. My name is, and I'm an artist, and you could say where, and you could say just a real quick snippet about the type of art you create, and then 4 or 5 fun things about me that you might not know, and I would number them. If people type up like really long paragraphs, sometimes if I'm on Instagram, even if I love that person, I just don't want to read 8 paragraphs. But if they have 5 bullet points about them and they say, I'm known for my textural paintings, my love for jalapenos, my 2 dogs named this and that, then you feel like you know them. You might not know that I spent 7 summers in Hawaii. Something like that. And it's like, oh, that's so cool. But they also mentioned something about their art. That's a great way to introduce yourself. Okay. Thank you for pulling that up.
No problem. Sorry.
No, you're doing great. So then let's look at a couple other artists. On the next slide, we can look at a couple of other accounts. So what I want you to notice is right away, these 2 artists are 2 artists that have had great success. They're also doing great on Instagram. This one, her name is Kit Porter. It says Kit Porter Studios. And I remember that her name is Kit Porter because it says Kit Porter Studios. I also want you to look at, this is what her account looks like. You see that it's so consistent. We see like consistently, she has zoomed in and cropped most of the time on the image itself. She is in some of the photos, and I do recommend that sporadically. You do appear, people do want to see the artist, even if you don't want to see yourself, they want to see you. They want to connect with who created it. That's such a huge part of the art experience. When I buy a piece of art, I'm buying a piece of that person, and I feel a connection to them. And so they want to see and know who they're buying from. This another artist, Eleanor Scott Davis. She is an artist, and just if we look at her profile, she tells you artist based in Raleigh, North Carolina. See my website, and she tells you where her website is, or email for more information. That is also great, a great place to put your email. And then her account also has gorgeous images of her abstracts. So we can go to the next slide. Okay. I feel like if you feel like I'm sharing a lot, I am. And I'm going to keep going, but we'll slow down and you'll be able to ask questions. Okay, so do get started. Do get started. Let me say this. I love timers. If I feel overwhelmed, I tell myself, I do this with chores and I do this with art. If I feel overwhelmed, I say, Kelly, you only have to work on that boy's face for 10 minutes. I'm painting something. And I set a timer for 10 minutes. and I get started. And you know, human nature, more often than not, I'm at minute 11 and I'm loving it. And I'm so glad I started. Or if it's 10 minutes, then I tell myself, good job, you're done. You don't have to do that anymore. And you put it away. Same is true with Instagram. If you're feeling overwhelmed about posting, set a timer, 10, 15 minutes. Do your first, if you need to look on YouTube, at a tutorial, do that for 10 minutes. Then you've done your Instagram beginning for the day. And the next day you go and you create an account, or you try to for 15 minutes. And instead of getting frustrated that this is overwhelming, you go, oh, I did that for 15 minutes. I'm done for the day. I don't have to do that anymore, until you build up where you're starting to feel more and more comfortable. Because at first, everyone feels uncomfortable. You feel like, I'm pretty sure I did that wrong. And you put it out there. And over time, you start to feel more and more comfortable. Okay, so the second dude said, if we can go back, I'm sorry.
Let me go back.
Yes, thank you. Do share posts, stories, and reels regularly. So a post is where you see, kind of like on Facebook, where you on Instagram, you see a main image and it has a caption and people comment on that image or video. And that is the main post in the main account. You do want to do that regularly. When I say regularly, I would say I would start with 3 times a week. 3 times a week. And if you can do 4 or 5 times a week, that's great. If you can build up to 6 times a week, that's great. And then I like to take a day off. In fact, for some reason, Instagram likes it when you take a day off. Instagram, I do not understand the algorithm completely, but I do know that when you take a day off, they will make your post available or seen by more people after your day off. But if you never post, or you hardly ever post, then your things are not going to get seen a lot. What Instagram of course, is a business, and they want more people to stay on their platform longer. The longer people stay on the platform, the more money they make in ads. And so whatever you're doing to help people stay on the platform longer, they like that. So if more people are staying and clicking on your stuff, then they're going to show your art to more people. And at first it might feel frustrating. You're thinking, I'm new. That's okay. The more you are consistent, the more that your things will get shown to others. So a story. This is where I want you to look up on YouTube if that sounds so foreign to you. I do want you to look it up to see what a story is. A story is something that disappears in 24 hours. So stories are a great place to show a little bit of behind the scenes. You might show setup in your studio. You might show, I showed on Easter, this is where I showed parts of my family. I showed my kids, going to get Easter eggs in my stories, but that wasn't in my main post that stays there forever. I mean, we say forever, you can delete a post anytime you want, but it's not one of the ones that stays up forever. It's just there for 24 hours to connect with people. I show lots of close-ups of images there. I might highlight a print that I'm selling there and link to that. We'll talk more about that in a minute, but that is something that only lasts for 24 hours. And stories are on Instagram at the top.
Can I go back to your account?
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Thank you. At the top of anyone's Instagram account. Well, it's not going to show because we're on mine. That's okay. Yes, that's where my stories are. That red circle's where my stories are. And if I was looking on, oh, there we are. Happy Easter. Yeah, you can click through that. That'll be great. So these are my children. And then keep clicking, and I'll show you how. I'll show you how I then highlighted.
So I was just letting it roll. If you
Oh, it's rolling. Gosh, it's just playing. That's Lily. She's the one to help me become a full-time artist. Okay. The next. Okay. So this is an interior designer's. I loved her Easter table, and she also. That's my image on her TV. I'm now offering Samsung frame TV images on my website. So these are the images that are available. So I put a link so that people can go and buy their own. So that's something that I use my stories for, is to highlight a new collection or new product that's on my website, and also to connect with. So now this interior designer, Robin, she also is reposting this to her story. So all the people that follow her also are seeing this. And that is how organic connection happens. We'll talk more about that. Again, I know I'm sharing tons of information, but that's what a story looks like. And they disappear in 24 hours. A reel is a video, and videos are what Instagram is loving sharing. It's what people do like seeing. I know some people don't like seeing reels and they'd rather see photos, but a reel is a video. And when you dive into Instagram, I do want you to Google Instagram Reels, look at it. The easiest way for an artist, I think, in my opinion, to create a reel is you pull out your phone and you put it on, instead of photo, video, and you zoom in on your art, you zoom out, and you created a video that is your art, but you haven't had to like dance or do anything. You're just showing your art. You're not having to point. And you can turn that into a reel, and reels do get the most account interaction. I'm able to see how many people have viewed things. And my reels, it is exponential. They get shown to all sorts of accounts of people that are not following you. So Instagram shows reels to people that are not following you. They also put things in what's called an explore page. And an explore page shows people things that they think they might like. And if you go to an explore page and you click on their post or their reel, then you can click follow them, and you've discovered a new account that you love to follow. So people will message me on Instagram and be like, I found your account today, or I'm so glad I found your account. And they found it usually through that explore page or through Instagram sharing. Do create a cohesive feed. So when we were looking, I think, yeah, go ahead to the next one. We were looking at, yes, so these are two great artists. These are two male artists. I showed you female earlier. Jim Musil, look how many followers he has, 188,000 followers on Instagram. He's selling his paintings for thousands of dollars directly through Instagram. He actually, that's his primary needs. He has a website, but his main means of selling is not through a gallery. It's just directly to his clients, his collectors through Instagram. And I remember a few years ago following him, and I think he had like 20,000 followers then, or 10,000. So it is really just, once you get that first 1,000 followers, feels like it just is like, but once you start to get more and more people see, oh, well, he or she must be fairly well known. He has 2,000 followers, and people are more likely to follow you at that point. This is Colin Page Art. And once again, their names, Jim Musil, painter. I know that he is a painter, it's so clear. And C. Page Art, his name is Colin Page, but he is an artist in Maine. I love his work. But what you see in these is that the color palettes are similar. It's a cohesive page. It's not a picture of his dog and then a picture of like a dirty studio and the artist's like, I really need to clean this up, or a picture of, it's art, 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 art. And you do want to do that. You can always clean up your Instagram. If you go and you look at your page, if you already have one and you go, oh, I kind of don't love that, and that, you can archive it, which means no one else sees it, or you can delete it, which means it's just gone. And I do recommend that. I even do that on my own. Sometimes I post something, but then it was good for the moment because I wanted to share it and I wanted to share it as a post, but it's not something that I want to stay on my feed. If someone's checking out who I am and they scroll, and maybe it's not working. It's, the oranges are taking away from all of the blues of the marshes. And I just need that one to not be. It's also just as if when you're creating a painting and you realize, okay, this part needs to go. You can also do the same thing. So let's look at the next do. Oh, these are more. This is mine. I was talking about oranges. So you do see, I do have, if I were to delete one, I think what I would delete is either the one right beside the three children or the one beside that. I posted those. I'm glad I did. Those are two different paintings. But right now it just kind of looks like same. So I would delete one of those or archive one of those. That was just an example of that. Okay. Do edit your photos. Let me show. This is my painting. I love this painting, but you can see my carpet and the piece of furniture behind it. Don't post that. The painting is beautiful. The carpet and the furniture behind it are not. This is so common. I'm not picking on anybody because it's so common. That means that lots of people do it. You want to take a moment, and I do it right on my phone in photos. I don't go into Photoshop. I don't do any sort of like high tech. In my phone, I take almost all the photos that I post onto Instagram. I take 99.9% of them on my phone. That's what I do. I get good natural light. There's windows opposite of what you see here. Good natural light. But then if it's a rainy day, I brighten the thing. I brighten the photo. Don't let it be a dingy, dark photo that doesn't highlight the gorgeous nature of your work. And that's if you're a photographer, if you are a ceramicist, if you're, any 3D, you still want the best lighting. Now, I know that if you're creating 3D work, you cannot crop up to the edges of, like a canvas. But you can create a background that is white, or that is lovely, or that is consistent, rather than, your supplies. And that creates visual clutter. And visual clutter is not appealing to anyone. That's not going to sell your work. So you want to set it up for success. So don't do that. Do video your work. We mentioned that, and we already clicked on that video. So do video your work. You might not post the video every time, but I recommend it. It's really nice if someone's interested in your work to be able to send them that video too. If they go, oh, tell me more about this one. So you can say, oh, I love that piece. Here's a video of it. And that's making them, they're getting to know it more. They're falling in love more with that piece, and they're wanting to buy it. Just like if I am interested in art, or even interested, if I want to buy a pair of shoes, sometimes I'll let you know how they'll show you 5 pictures of the same pairs of shoes. You're like, oh yes, I do want this now. After you've seen the fifth image of it. The same is true for your art. So do it. Okay, let's look at the next. So see the difference, okay? Carpet, furniture, no carpet, no furniture. And it wasn't taken completely head on. So in my phone, you can transform it so that it becomes square, so that you have crops to the edges. If the image was too dark or too vibrant, you can see your own piece of art, and you're not trying to edit it so it looks different than reality. You're trying to make it look as beautiful as it does in reality. So do edit. Okay, the fifth do create engaging captions. So when you do post, you're going to want to ask questions sometimes. So you might ask a question that you would just ask a friend. You might say, I recently did, if you look up at the top centerpiece on that one, this one actually tells a story. But what I could have done also is I could have said, how many of you absolutely love hot sauce with your shrimp? And it's creating a question where then people know what to say. There's times, I don't know if you've ever done this, but there's times where you see a beautiful post and you think, I don't really know what to say other than like, beautiful, because they haven't really given you anything to say. So you're like racking your brain of how you can say it looks good a different way, because every time you go, oh, so pretty, and so if you ask them questions, then it's like, oh, yes, I love hot sauce, and that painting is looking hot too, or like you could say, you can respond to it. So I'll read what my caption was. In this case, I told a story. That's what I also recommend. So you don't have to do all of these in every post, but you do want to create something that feels like a conversation, and a short conversation. You don't want to be super long-winded, because our attention spans are short when we're on social media, especially. So I just told the story. The true story. When I was a little girl, nearly every spring break, my family would head to beautiful Garden City, South Carolina. My grandparents had a beach cottage right on the ocean, and each visit made my soul sing. For a special treat, we would eat at Lee's Inlet Kitchen in Merle's Inlet. Any of you? Then they love that, I guess. And guess what I ordered? And then I had the emoji of the little wink face picture. I never met a shrimp cocktail that I didn't love. I've also never laid eyes on it. And I mentioned 2 other businesses. I did it not just to get like attention, but also it's tying to those other accounts. It's nice to share other accounts, whether it's a food place, or if this is Katie Swigart Collection. She owns a store downtown called the Little Green Door. I love it. I love the decor that's in there. And people that love her decor and her antiques that she sells love my style of art too. So she reposts this to her story, and people who love to buy antiques from her are also the same kind of people that like to buy my art. And so we're sharing clients with one another, and people that like to buy my art, I know are likely to want to buy things from her store. But she inspired this painting. She gave me permission, full permission. She did this tablescape and gave me full permission to paint based from her gorgeous photo. So my friend Kayla has a way of making every table look as special as those favorite spring break memories. Her table inspired this new original, so of course I gave her credit because it did inspire it with her permission, which will be one of several shrimp themed paintings releasing on my website, kellypelfrey.com, just in case you didn't know, tomorrow. And look how tomorrow is, the time and date is I used emojis to draw attention to that, okay? Tomorrow, April 15th at noon. And then I noted this time had changed. My family, like so many years, we attended Good Friday service in the evening. And then I added hashtags. And you go, okay, what's a hashtag and how do I use it? A hashtag, the best one, good way to describe how to think of a hashtag is if you were your ideal client or you were someone searching for something on Instagram, what would you perhaps be searching for that might make this pop up? If I have someone, I'll read the things I put. I put hashtag blue and white decor, hashtag blue and white forever. These are things people that love blue and white china. These are hashtags they follow. You can follow a hashtag and then you will see accounts that you've never heard of that also put that hashtag will pop up in your feed. I put hashtag chinoiserie chic style. That's a big hashtag that all these people follow. You'll realize that when you type in the hashtag, it tells you how many people or how many times they
Click one of them.
Sure, that's perfect.
Which one you want?
Let's do chinoiserie chic. See what comes up. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there are currently that many posts, and no, look what you see. You see beautiful homes with beautiful decor. And people with beautiful homes with beautiful decor, if they like this sort of thing, they're going to want to buy my art. So this is where people can discover me, and if they love blue and white, then they're going to go, oh, a painting with blue and white. I want to add that to my home. So that's a great example. I also put a couple other hashtags that are totally different, and I'll read those to you in just a second since we can get it back. No problem. That's yeah, there you go. So on a totally different note, I added coastal home, coastal painting, hashtag Murrells Inlet, because someone who loves Murrells Inlet is going to connect to my story that I shared, true story, and also may have a love for shrimp as well. Hashtag low country living, hashtag shrimp cocktail, hashtag South Carolina art, hashtag South Carolina artists. I do different hashtags each time. I don't have like a list. Some people are really good about being, so hashtag South Carolina artists. There I am, and that's my painting too. Actually, yes, this one. So when you click on it, you're gonna, all these people are South Carolina artists. Okay, great, cool. Sorry. Back to the so the other thing it says was inform. And I mentioned that when I said when that collection was going to release. So do inform. That's your chance. You can tell a story and say, and don't forget, I have a collection coming out. You are going to feel like a broken record, but people don't, it takes people at least 7 times to really remember. I have a friend that was releasing a collection today. And I kept going, when is Shannon releasing that again? And she's my friend. Like I was interested and I still was having a hard time remembering. And I know she's posted it at least 10 times. So just say it again. Say it again. And you never know. You might think everyone's seen all my posts. This is likely the first time they've seen a post of yours. And so you want to be obvious and inform again. Remind them of your website and do remind them how they can join your email list. And I want you all to have an email list if you don't have an email list yet. We'll talk about that too. Okay, so again, asking questions, telling story. Oh, and this is just another example. So I informed by telling them the size of this painting. So this is a 36 by 48 inch salt marsh side was the title. And it wasn't sold at the time. It is sold now, but it said above a console table or mantle. I think either would make the perfect home for this new original. You just can't go wrong with blues and greens and a sweet reminder of one of the most gorgeous places on earth. The kind that make you slow down inside, a relaxed, joy-filled side. Available, and I said March 24th at 8 p.m. with the Customary collection, sharing more details in my stories. Actually, when I posted that one, people responded with, oh, I couldn't pick whether I wanted over my mantle or over my couch. And that one actually pre-sold because I had so many people that wanted it before the collection went live. So that's just another example of let them know ahead of time. Okay, just one more example. Is this one had, look, that one had almost 1,200 likes. And I think it had to do with the hashtags. I don't know for sure, but that's what I think. It said, you can expect to see a whole lot of yellow, blue, and green on my feed in the next few days. All new lemons launch on my website Friday, March 18th at 8 p.m. New Low Country Works will be live at Customary Collection Thursday, March 24th at 8 as well. I think these cheerful colors are just perfect for March or any time of year. And then we have the hashtags again. And so then people commented, and that's, I think it'll lead to a couple of my next do's. Yes, do. So then people comment. Don't leave them hanging. If they say something to you, please respond as much as you can. And especially if you have not a lot of comments, respond to every single one. I understand if you get, 100 comments on a post that sometimes that can be a lot to go through and respond to everyone, but try if you can. If you have 5 comments, then to every single person, even more than just the same words. Like if you just say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you 5 times, that person's going to feel like, I guess I'm not very special. Like I just got, thank you. But if you say like, if they say, oh, I just love the blue in this piece, you could say something that's sincere and true. Oh, blue is my favorite color. I love using it. Or oh, I was in love with that hue of the sky. Thank you so very much.
So there's a question.
Yeah.
How often do you release new collections, and how do you pre-sale for a collection that it's not yet released?
I often will not pre-sale. I'll just let them know exactly what time it's going to go live. Customary collection was who we pre-sold, and she'll make exceptions for large pieces if somebody really wants it. First come, first serve. How often do I release a collection? I release, so when I say collection, this is not related to Instagram. It often could be 5 pieces. I love doing that. You sell out fast when you have 5, and it creates more demand. That's really wise. It's not like, it's not manipulative. It's just smart. If there's low demand and high demand and a low volume, then you're creating even more demand. So if I have 5 pieces and they sell out in a couple of minutes, then that generates the next time I need to be faster. And people say, could you make more? So I often release I usually do about 1 to 3 a month.
And generally, how many pieces are in your collection?
I would say 5 to 10. 5 to 10. I do, but some of these collections are 8 by 10s. They're not all 36 by 48s. Some collections I like to have in every collection, I like to have a couple of 8 by 10s, something that's small, even 5 by 7s on paper. And that's a great way, is to have a small collection of 5 by 7s on paper that I ship them matted, because then you have created something that is at a price point that a lot of people can purchase, and you're generating excitement around who you are, and people have a piece of your art. And once you have a piece of art in someone's home, you're creating word of mouth immediately. And it says, oh, I did that. Let me tell you, and they share it. So yeah.
So the second part of that was, how do you pre-sell an item before it's been released?
So that would happen in DMs, which is our next.
Okay.
Very good. Which is our next thing. So someone would send me a message and say, I love it. I need it. Is there any way I can buy it early? And you get to make that call. Some people say, no, they're going to be live on my website at a certain time. And some people say, absolutely, you want to buy it? It's yours, and here's how you can pay. So you get to make that decision. Different galleries have different, Shane Gallery, it's who I work with in Charlotte. They'll sell it as soon as it's available. Kristen Berry Collection, often the large pieces, they just DM her and she sends them a link where they can buy it early. So it depends on the artist and it depends on the gallery, but that's how we do it. So respond to your DMs, your direct messages. So in your Instagram account, and this is true for Facebook as well, you can, so this isn't that's the chat. Were you going to pull up yours?
Oh, did you want to put, yes.
Oh, you don't have to.
No, I was
this
just seeing what that was Barbara
No.
saying. Thank you for
Oh,
answering her
You're
questions.
so welcome.
So
So a
messages.
DM is, a direct message. People can direct message you. And even if, so in my story, you saw like the photo of my family. Someone can respond with like the heart eyes, right? Saying like, oh, so cute. You can respond to that with thank you so much. I think responding to people and not leaving them hanging is such a way to build that relationship. People like to know the artists that they're buying for, to have that connection. It creates friendships, it creates loyal fans. And I really gotten to know, I feel like I know, I'll talk about them at the end. I feel like I know several of my collectors, like I would hug them tightly. And we've never met. They live in completely different states, but we've gotten to know each other via Instagram. So do respond, have conversations in your DMs, and Instagram likes it. Your things will be shown to more people. The more DMs you have, the more you get up in the algorithm, and Instagram shows your account to more people. So do respond. Okay. Oh, this is an example. Okay. So this was the bride painting where you saw a little bit ago, the video. Debbie was the name of the mother of the bride that, this is an example of the comments actually. So all the way to far right, this is an example of responding in the comments. And I pinned her comment because she was the mother of the bride. And she was so kind. She said, simply stunning, Kelly. Thank you. Thank you. You have this mother of bride in tears again. I feel weird reading this. You're a magical artist for sure. But I responded to her and then the next person and responded to them the next person. But I pinned her comment, and the reason I pinned it, and you can, if you're going, I don't know how to pin it, just type in YouTube, how do you pin a comment? I like to pin, if it's a commission, I do like to pin the comment from the person who commissioned it, because that is kind of like a review. Like if you're on Amazon and you see reviews, you saw a painting of a bride, but do you know if that looks like that bride or if I just painted a bride, right? But because she's saying that she's in tears, that makes people trust, oh, I could trust her with a commission. This mother of the bride loved it. I can trust her. So it is, comments also are like reviews. So you do want to pin them if you can. And this was just, I'm sorry. No, you're great. The center, this is what it looks like where I have DMs. So you can just see that I was connecting with all sorts of people. We were talking back and forth with other artists and with clients as well. Okay. Do build connections. So this designer's account that I have up there, her name is Edith Ann Duncan, and Edith Ann and I have become really good friends through Instagram. She found my work on Instagram and bought a print from me about 2 years ago. And she reached out to me because she did the design for the Beamers, Shane and Emily Beamer, Shane Go Gamecocks, head football coach's home. And she reached out to me to collaborate on some pieces for their house. And as a graduate of UC, I was a little bit fangirling that I got to work on some pieces for their home. But we have built relationships where now this painting that I know you can't zoom in. The second one down on the far left over her mantle, that's a commission that I did based upon the interior of her home. I just finished 2 48 by 60s. They're at TC's at Palmetto Fine Arts right now with the gold bamboo frames that are going in her family room in Blacksburg, Virginia. And through her, I have paintings in Lexington, Kentucky, and Williams. I have 5 originals in this gorgeous home in Williamsburg, Virginia, because she loves to commission artists to create works for her clients. So how do you build these connections? She found me, I believe, but I think the reason she found me is because I follow more design accounts than I do artists. It's not because I don't love artists, but it's because Instagram is going to show your account to the type of accounts you follow. So if you're only following other artists or people that have golden doodles because you have a golden doodle, then all the people with golden doodles are going to see your account and they might not want to buy your art. They might just like that you both have golden doodles. Well, if you follow perhaps an interior designer or someone else that you think would be in the market for your art, let's say your art is specific to people that maybe they like homesteading and you create quilts that would be a gorgeous touch for their homes, then if you're following accounts for people that love to buy quilts, then that is going to be the type of accounts that you want to follow. And I only follow accounts that I genuinely love, that if I love their work as a designer, we're more likely to have the same taste or similar taste where they're also going to like my paintings. So I'm not going out and going, who are the designers with the most followers? I just naturally, Instagram is showing me design accounts. And if I love it, I follow it, and I don't just follow it. If I just click follow and assume that designer is going to see who I am, they're never going to see who I am. But what I do is I comment. I click on their most recent post, and I think of a genuine thing I can say, like, oh, I just love how that fabric looks. Oh my goodness, with that, with that light fixture is gorgeous, is what I'll say. And I mean it, I think of what I mean. And then, so then I've popped up and they'll likely respond in a comment. I respond to their stories like, oh, that is so beautiful. And I'm consistent. And then I become someone that they kind of know because I'm the person who's just commenting on their work. And if they like mine, they're likely to reach out to me, or I will DM someone. And I did this even more in the beginning. I did this a lot more in the beginning. I would send them a DM, which I mean a direct message. And I would say, hi, I'm an artist in South Carolina. Here's some examples of my work. And I would put them, not say you can go look at my work here. I would send them photos of my work in the direct message and say, I would absolutely love to create commissions for your clients. If it's a designer, please let me know how I can ever help. And sometimes I would hear back and other times say, oh, tell me more. What's your price ranges for a piece like that? Some people I never heard back from ever again. That's okay. Like, one thing that is huge about Instagram is I don't want you to ever let it be a reflection of who you are as a person or as an artist. If you don't hear back from somebody, you can assume they were busy. They were just busy. Galleries, same thing. Shane Gallery, I love Shane Gallery that I work with in Charlotte. They represent some phenomenal artists, and it's just like I'm humbled that my work is represented by them. I reached out to them probably at the beginning of 2020. And I reached out via email and I got back that really nice message like, thank you so much. We appreciate your work. We hope you have a great career. We don't want your art. It was something really nice. At this time, we are, we look forward to seeing your work in the future. Well, at the beginning of 2021, Sybil, the gallery owner, sent me a message on Instagram that said, I love your art, as if she'd never seen it before. I'd gotten better every year, thank goodness. That's what lots of painting does. It makes you better. Oh my goodness. But she reached out to me and said, would you like to be a part of a show? And then after it did well in the show, then I became represented by our gallery. So build connections with galleries, reach out to them. Don't let fear hold you back. Reach out to, if you have a product that can work in a boutique or in any type of store, reach out to them. Via Instagram is a great way because you can show photos immediately of your work. Send a nice message that I absolutely love your store. I think this would be a perfect fit, whether it's small paintings or a small product or anything. And then you just say, this is what I would love to send you 5 of these. Yes.
When you say that your collection will be released on such and such a day, it will be available at.
Yes.
Is that a gallery that you're referring to?
The great question. So typically it's my website. I do most of my releases now via my website. earlier Kristen Berry collection, which is an online gallery. So it's an online release. So the images will, they're not shown and then they appear at, the magical time, 8 p.m. They'll be live and appear. I did most of my releases with Meredith Kristen Berry in the beginning because I didn't have the following. And so connecting with her was huge. And I connected with her through Instagram. I actually reached out to her before I went full time, which is how I was able to step into being full time in 2019 and said, I would love to do a collection with you. And I sent her 3 of the best works I'd done. That I'd sent her 3 of the best. And she said, yes, she was my.
Now, when you say you release them and you give your email,
Yes.
are you then saying, you then send them photos of it or?
So when it's released, they will see photos of it on my website and we can click on that and then we'll remind me if I forget, but we'll go to my website at the end. I'll show you exactly how I release them on my website. That's a great question. But do build connections with fellow artists. I said I follow more design accounts than I do artists, but I do. Like I know Nikki from Instagram. That's how we know each other. Nikki Peoples, who's here. I follow fellow artists that are all over the world. I even have bought art from a couple of European artists, some small pieces. And so I think it is excellent to build relationships with artists and ones that you connect with. You probably have lots of things in common other than your art. So do connect with them. They can showcase your work. I have a friend named Michelle. She's in Ohio. She does a lot of sailboat paintings. They're beautiful. And she'll say, go check out Kelly Pelfrey Art's new release. I love this piece. And I'll do the same for her. And it's like an unsaid, we haven't said like, hey, will you please share this? And I'll share that. It's not like we shook hands on it. It's just something we do. Like we just started sharing each other's work. And it's like our way of supporting one another is just by sharing that they have art available. And that's how you can build connections. And it's a mutual benefit. Okay. Do build your email list. If you don't have an email list, don't feel bad. I didn't have an email list either. In 2018, when I created my website in 2018, it doesn't look just like it did then. With Squarespace is what I use. I didn't know how to do it. I had to sit there and read the directions and try to figure out step by step. But that is when I began to build my email list. My email list started with 34 people that I knew, of course, that I knew. And the designer that had done my mom's house was like the only designer on the list. And then slowly but surely I began to build it. So how do you build it? So in a post, you can say, and I do this, and it's very effective. I will be sending out an email when I have new commission spots available. Or I will be sending out an email with the preview of this week's collection. I would love to send it to you as well. I'd be happy to include you. Like I would be so happy to include you. All you have to do is send me a message with your email or click here. And so click here, this is huge, there is a way, and I do want you to go and look this up. It's very easy. It's a simple click, and you're able on Instagram, in your stories, you're able to create a tappable link where when somebody taps on it, and you might already know this if you're used to Instagram a lot, when they tap on it, they go directly to that website. And you can create on your own website or through a mail service like MailChimp is the one that lots of people use. It's free. When you have less than 2,000 people on your email list, it's completely free. And it also is very, at first maybe a little confusing, but it comes very easy. You can send out some very simple emails, but you can begin to build your list and you can create what's called a landing page, which is also easy. It sounds overwhelming if you haven't done it before, but once you do it, you go, oh, that wasn't hard. You click that link and they can just simply type in their email and then they have subscribed. Then you can send out emails. I used to only send out an email once a month. And I thought that was, I only send out emails once a month. I don't bother people. No. I send out emails now 4 times a month, sometimes 5 or 6. Once a week, I send out an email. And every time I send out an email, I sell prints, I sell books, I sell originals. Every single time I send out an email. And I say that not to brag about myself. I'm saying that because emails work. And if you talk to anyone that does any sort of marketing online, they're going to tell you create an email list, because even if they're not going to buy something off your website, if you get an email reminder that says, remember, I will be at this art fair on this time on Tuesday. I can't wait to see you. It reminds you. When I get an email in my inbox from, again, we'll use shoes, from a shoe company, or I buy my girls little clothes and it says, oh, our spring sale is happening, because I like that brand. I subscribe to it on purpose. I'm not annoyed. Yay, I get their clothes for 50% off. I'm happy that I got that email.
Anyone that subscribes to Belk can tell you they send a ton of emails, but I will not unsubscribe.
You will not unsubscribe. The same is true for for Michaels, because I do want to know when those canvases are 70% off. So I'm not going to unsubscribe. Right, exactly. And my people want to know. I release commission reservations, and I tell them, instead of having a wait list for my commissions, I say, I'm going to be releasing, well, I just released May of 23. And we're releasing May 2023's commissions at this time, at this date. And you guys, I'm telling you, it blows my mind, but I had 7 spots and they sold out in 2 minutes. It was, I can't even believe that happened, but it was because of the email. They knew when and where, and they're able to do it. So you do want to build your email list. That is probably, it really should be number 9. That should be number 1. If I could go back and do anything differently, I would have started building my email list sooner.
Okay, so if you have not been good about that from the
Yes.
beginning,
Yes.
what do you recommend? You go back to clients and say,
Oh.
hey, can I have your email?
Yes. What
Okay.
I would say is I would have something new that's about to happen and say, let's say it's commissions or new prints, or I have some exciting things coming up and I don't want you to miss out. And then I would say, can I get your, I would love to keep you in the know,
Okay.
or I would hate for you to miss out. I'm going to be emailing about this upcoming and whatever the exciting thing is. Can I add your name? And don't say, can I add your name? I keep saying the box, and say, I would be happy to add your name. This is where you can subscribe. And so then people are like, oh, please do include me. Thank you so much. They'll send me their email and then they'll thank me so much. And I'm thinking like, no, it's the opposite. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I just wondered, so I do a lot of Instagramming with
Yes.
my family and stuff like
Yes,
that.
yes, yes, yes.
you know.
Yes.
And then I put my art up.
Yes.
Should you just sort of separate two?
Yes. That is such a
accounts?
great, yes. I would have a personal account
Okay.
and or 2 public accounts. If you want your family, your more personal account to still be public where anyone could follow it, that's fine. It is, but make one a business account and one just a public personal account or private personal
Yeah,
account.
because,
Yes.
I mean, my dog is up on everything.
Yes,
So,
yes.
and I just, it's just like dog and then art.
And this is what I would do. Yes. So what I would do is tell all these people, it's your family and people that like you, say, exciting news. I have a brand new account dedicated just to my art. Please go follow and share with your friends, and ask them to say, will you please share this with your friends? Will you please share this with someone that would like this? And they'll go, oh yes, but if you hadn't done that, they wouldn't think to do it. If I see someone say, will you go follow someone? I think, well, maybe, what do they have? And if I like it, sure, I'll follow you. So ask people to follow and ask people to share.
That sounds much better, because it was just like, how can I separate
Yes.
the art from the personal page?
Yes.
All the personal information.
Mine was like that too. And I went back, I should have done it sooner. I waited too long, and I went back and deleted a lot of my old personal stuff. I got tired of doing it. So if you scroll all the way to the beginning of mine, you see me with my 2 oldest kids in Washington, DC in 2012. Like it's, but for the most part, it takes you a long time to get to that. That's why
What email platform?
I use MailChimp.
MailChimp.
Yes, MailChimp is the one I use. There are others, and others might be better. So I did not try all of them and pick my favorite. I just tried the one that I had heard a lot about, and it worked.
Constant contact. is good.
Constant contact is another good one. There's a lot though. I've heard different people mention different ones. So you could, just take a look at the different ones and see if you can get a feel for which one you like best, but you can always change. It's not like a marriage. You can you're just dating these choices. You don't have to stick with them. Then do number 10 is do link directly to your website for where people can easily purchase your art. So decide, this was one of the questions I got, was decide how you are going to make it available and make it clear and easy and remove friction. We buy from Amazon, not necessarily because we all like Amazon, but because when I click, I want that thing to show up. Just one click and it comes. So you don't want to say, please go here and do this, and please send me an email if you want to buy my art. No one's going to take the time. I mean, that's a lot for someone to have to pull up their email, send you an email. I like this piece and describe it to you. What you want to do is, if you do not have a website yet, I do recommend getting a website. It does not have to be fancy. To start a Squarespace, I think it was maybe $200 to $300 per year. And you're able to link it to PayPal, or somebody can just buy with PayPal. You're able to, of course, they can save their cards and this sort of thing, or a Shopify site. Shopify and Squarespace are the two that most people who sell their art would recommend. But if you don't have a website, you can send me a message. You say, this is available. Please send me a DM to claim it. Or if you want to make this yours, send me a DM. And then when they send you a DM, you say, do you prefer Venmo or PayPal? And then you send them. And if you don't know Venmo or PayPal, I would get one of those two accounts. And then you send them a link. It's an invoice. You can do a quick invoice where they click on it and they can pay you right away. And you say, I'll be shipping, I'll be so happy to ship it. Here's your invoice. And then that invoice will, you'll be able to get their shipping information and ship it to them. Or if they're local, of course, you could say, I'll be happy to drop it off at Palmetto Fine Arts for you. And then you can pick it up there, So you want to make it as easy as possible. So whatever you can do to remove friction to make it easy for people to purchase is what you want to do. Yes.
You mentioned about consistent art.
Yes.
Consistency in your art.
Yes.
I like to paint in watercolor.
Yes.
I also like to paint in acrylic and
Yes.
sometimes oil.
Yes.
So are you suggesting that it's better to just have one medium, or?
I think that your style will likely come through. I also think if you regularly paint in all three, that one of the things I would do, because I regularly paint different subject matter, I almost always paint in acrylic, but I paint different subject matter, is I try not to do, let's say even if I've had a marsh release, I won't post marsh. It'll be more like marsh still life, commission of children on the beach. Not like every third one, but for instance, you might post watercolor, and it doesn't have to be when you just create it. You could be like, you could have a post that said, I loved this acrylic that sold last year. I can't wait to create more this summer. And so you're posting again, like your acrylic and then this watercolor. These are new watercolors that I'm working on now. Like you post that 2 days later. So then you have a cohesive look because you're not just doing, oh, does she? Because it's confusing. If you say, also you could say in your profile, painter, watercolors, acrylics, and oils. So then people see it and they know she does watercolors, acrylics, and oils, and it's not confusing to them. Yeah, good question. Okay, this was that link. So this is where the little link sticker is. Once again, if you go, oh, this is overwhelming. I would go to YouTube and click, how do I add a link to my story? And it'll show you click on it and you just copy and paste the website. So if I post this photo of me with my new book, I will put a link on it so that immediately people can go. I take the friction out. They don't have to Google Kelly Pelfrey new book. They can simply click on it and it takes them exactly, not just to my website, but to that product in my website, to that exact. And this product is more than just a product to me. It's 2 years of paintings. is called Delight. And I'm not just trying to sell you a book right now. What I tell people is that I think of it as a chance to take about 10 minutes to yourself. You're an artist, so looking at art is soothing to your soul. And so to take 10 minutes to flip through, I filled it with some quotes and words for myself, including things from my journal. Throughout it, it shows images of all sorts of subject matters that I've painted, that I really hope that it helps people reflect on what is beautiful in their ordinary lives. I haven't answered all the questions yet, so I do have a couple more that I'm happy. I know we're almost out of time, so I have a couple more that I'm happy to answer, and then I'll be so happy to answer any more. So a couple of questions that I didn't answer yet were, this was a question I sort of answered, but let me go over it again. How do I set up a plan to obtain more followers and maintain consistent activity? And I would decide what time of day you want to engage with Instagram. So I typically have 1 to 2 times set aside where I'm active. I do it once in the morning because I like to, like after, like I sip my coffee and I might respond to comments or engage then, or late afternoon is the other time that I do it. So I have 2 times a day that I typically do. And then I usually delete Instagram off my phone. I found that because it's like muscle memory. I don't know if you have any apps or anything like that where you feel like you're like checking without even meaning to. You're like, wait, how did I even get here? Like, how did I get here? So I will delete the app. You don't have to do this, of course, but I will delete the app all the way off my phone so that I am not distracted when I'm supposed to be painting or doing something else. And then it takes 5 seconds to add it right back. I don't have to create a new account. All I've done is made it disappear from my phone. It didn't delete me, it didn't delete everything that was there. It just made it go away from my phone. And then I just add it back. And I do that. I do it 2 or 3 times a day. I know that seems silly, but my finger will find it somehow on my phone when I don't mean to. Should I offer prints as an alternative for followers was a question that we got. And I would say yes. I love offering prints. I will give you the name of the print shop that I use. His name is Bill Barley and Associates. Do you use Bill also? Love. And Bill does a fabulous job. So people, yes, his print quality is excellent. So I highly recommend him. And I think it's such a good option to offer to collectors. A third question was best suggestions for setting up and maintain the appropriate security protocols. This is very important. When you have your Instagram account, you're going to go under settings and you're going to click settings, then security, and do make sure you have turned on 2-factor authentication so your account won't be hacked. And all that means is if someone else tried to log into your account, they would have to, it would be not only know a password, but they would also send like an email verification or something like that. So do that. That doesn't mean you have to do that every time you go into Instagram. It just means if a new phone or a new computer tried to log in, it would have to verify. The fourth question was, how can I make Instagram accounts stand out from the crowd? And I think that goes back to establishing your voice as an artist. And it also comes from creating lots of art. So the more art that you create, the more paintings that I create, the more I feel like they look like me. Appeal to collectors more than fellow artists again. Unless once again, we go back to why you're doing this. If your goal with Instagram is just to get to know a fellow artist, then it's good to connect only with other artists. But to help your account stand out from the crowd, connect, do the commenting, do the DMing, and you will. Tips for streamlining and promoting e-commerce on Instagram. I've already said direct links to your website. If you don't have a website yet, just post and send a PayPal or Venmo invoice. Flash sales are a great way that I built an engaged following. So what I did is I would, at about 5 p.m., post 5x7 on paper and say the first person to comment mine, or I would say this piece, this is how much it is, this is what it is, and please comment mine to claim, and I'll send you a DM with an invoice. And so people would try to like type in really fast, and that's how they bought it. They just said mine, And then I would send the invoice to the first person that did that. And that can be scary because you think, what if nobody says anything? Guess what? If no one says anything, 3 days later, you can just delete the post and pretend like it didn't happen. It's fine. Like, was it here? But yeah, question number 6. Do you lose copyright of your art by posting it? No. Because something is on the internet does not make it public domain. I looked this up to make sure I wasn't telling you a story. No. And I thought about that and I said, you know what? Also, the bigger question is, should fear of my art being copied or stolen keep me from posting? And for me, it is such an obvious no. The benefits have far outweighed. If someone copies one of my paintings, then God bless them. That, like, honestly, it is okay. If I find out that, some major company is selling prints of my art, then I would address that, but without my permission. But, I'm not worried about other people copying. I am wanting to share beauty that I see that God has given with other people. And that's my goal. My goal is to serve others by sharing my art. And if I do that, then I'm reaching my goal, and I'm not worried about someone stealing my art. That could it happen? I mean, yeah, but somebody could break into my house too. But I can't live with that fear, right? So I'm not going to let fear keep me from sharing my art. And question 7 that I got was getting product sponsors and being paid. What about getting product sponsors and being paid? I wouldn't let that be something that distracts you in the beginning. I would say that anyone can share Amazon affiliate links. So if you are using your favorite brand of a product, whether it's a painting supply or anything else, you could absolutely share that link and people click on it and you get paid through affiliate programs like Amazon. But I say make your number one focus for profit building with your email lists and creating connections. I get paid so much more through building these relationships with designers, through building relationships with even my local frame shop, current clients, loyal clients. They pay so much more dollars than affiliate links or sponsorships would. I just very recently was able to, I have a couple of book signings and speaking engagements coming up, and I reached out to a dress brand that I love. And I said, hi, I have these speaking engagements coming up. I would love to showcase one of your dresses and share it on Instagram. She said, oh, good. Tell me what size. And she's going to send me a free dress. So that's really fun. But that's new. That happened this week. Okay. So I'm really excited about that dress. Pitfalls associated with using Instagram. It can be it can take up a lot of time. So again, set that timer and just call yourself done. If you're worried that you're going to spend too much time on it, then say, I'm going to spend 15 minutes, and then you're a grown up. You be the boss of yourself and just stop. Yeah, delete the app.
How many hours a week do you think you spend on Instagram?
I probably spend about 20 to 30 in the afternoons and probably 20 to 30 in the mornings. And that sounds like a whole lot of time, but it's part of my work.
Right.
It's part of it's not like you can't think of it like, oh, I'm just hanging out. You're at work. Mm-hmm. So just like if you were at any other work and you're engaging in emails to coworkers for 30 minutes, it's not like you were playing around. You were at work. So it's part of my job. So I don't mind spending 50 minutes to an hour. And then I usually take one day off, like I said, completely. But I also like it. I've gotten where I like it. So it's not, if it's something you don't like to do, then spend less time. Don't spend tons of time on things you hate doing. But I like it. And I think when you start to know the people, it's like talking to your friends, you start to know people, you want to do it. The last two last questions, and then I'll be all the way done. Thank y'all so much. Is what should you not do on Instagram? I don't have 10 slides to show you, but this is my opinion. I would avoid this sort of thing. I would avoid voicing political opinions unless you have political art, unless that was the purpose of your art, because then, yeah, absolutely do it. I wouldn't use it as a place to rant or vent about negative experiences. If FedEx loses your painting, don't let that be the place you talk about it. People are there to see your beautiful art, not hear about how FedEx lost your painting. That also makes them go, oh, should I ship with her? FedEx lost her painting. Don't let that be the place you do it. Don't even let it be the place you go, I sure do like it when clients pay me on time, or, you know, like, no. Instead, yeah, you don't want to talk about negative experiences. That doesn't mean you're not a real person. It means when I go to Chick-fil-A, I don't hear about the manager's problem. He gives me waffle fronts, right? That's what I'm there for, not the problems. I would do not confuse your followers with random posts of things unrelated to your art. Do not post poorly lit or uncropped photos. We already talked about that. Do not fail to respond to people who comment on your posts. Leave them hanging. They said, that's so pretty. And you said, like, would you do that in real life? If somebody said, that's a gorgeous painting, you just look at them. No, you respond. And don't have a generic studio name. Once again, like we said, like Beautiful Bees Studios, you know, like, well, that's awesome if you paint beautiful bees, but I won't remember your name. Your name is what I need to remember. And best case scenario, that was a question. I love that question. Best case scenario, goodness, well, that could be endless, but is that you create a large email list, that you are able to sell out collections quickly, that you are able to ship art every week all across the US and even to Canada, that you're able to increase your income. And when you increase your income, it's not about just making more money. You get to be more generous. You get to buy more art supplies. You get to be home more. You get to make the decisions. You get to go on the vacations that you wanted to do. You get to paint more because you made more money. Or if you're not a painter, you get to create what you create more. And this has been one of the biggest blessings of being an artist that I didn't even completely foresee, is you get to build meaningful relationships, both professionally and personally. There's a lady named Sandy. Sandy's 71. She lives in Baltimore, Maryland, and she feels like a best friend to me. She owns like 3 of my paintings, and she'll send me messages that are supportive just because she's kind. She'll say, your painting, she bought one for her birthday, was the best birthday present I could have given myself, Kelly. Like, she is just this kind lady that I never would have met. There's a lady named Reva. She lives in Kentucky. Same thing. She'll send me messages. I went through a hard miscarriage, and I had clients reach out to me because I shared it. Yeah, I didn't have to, but I kind of wanted them to know why I wasn't painting or posting, because I usually did. And I had clients reach out to me with the kindest words, and that happened through Instagram. I have real life dear friends too, but that also meant a lot. And then I told you about people like Edith Ann Duncan, relationships with designers that I would never have known she existed if I wasn't on Instagram. That's how I discovered so many people that I work with. So I'm able to get up and do, and you can be able to get up and do what you dreamed of when you're a little girl or a little boy. I get to paint 5 to 6 days a week and spend more time doing what I love when I'm not painting because of it. So I think that's the best case scenario. And if you are interested in following me, again, I am Kelly Pelfrey Art. I do love connecting with artists, and I am so happy to, if you have questions, just send me a message. And I would be more than happy to share anything that I've learned. I obviously do not know it all. There are artists out there that know so much more than I do. But everything that I learned, I'm happy to share with anyone that wants to know what's worked for me, or help you find an answer to something that I don't know the answer to. I do have a new book that is being released in just a couple of weeks. I brought the proof copy. The real copies are going to be here at the beginning of May. And I know you are people that love to support. We love to support each other as artists. So it is available on my website, but I also left a little sheet if you want me to send you an email with the link. There's a code that no one else knows about for if you enter it on my website, CCAL for Crooked Creek Art League, is $6 off of the book, and it is full color. I had somebody ask me if they were going to be insulted if they framed art out of the book, if they took pages out, and I said no, I would be honored. I would not be insulted. I know I'm not on the screen now. Sorry, Zoom friends, I walked away. But there are pages in here. This is the proof. So there's a few pages that I thought, oh, that needs to be brighter, and so I let my publisher know, and they're going to be so much brighter. But there are images of the low country, there's still ice, and there are some that are full page and some that are smaller. But I really would love it if anyone would be interested. These will all be signed. And because it's pre-order time, everyone that orders one is also going to get Yeah, here's some examples of the full page color runs. I am giving to everybody that pre-orders from my website or any of you guys, a 5x7 signed print, orchid print. And you can see that on my website too. So these are some examples of pages that will be in there. I think I have shared everything. Thank you for letting me talk and talk and talk. And I hope that this has been helpful to you. Thank you for hosting me. It has really been a treat. I appreciate it.
Sign up sheet over here if you want to sign up for her book. And for those people that are on Zoom, we will be sending out that information as well.
Is that it? Close the meeting.
Okay, we've got. Again, Kelly Pelfrey, you have touched us and enlightened us, and I am definitely educated about what do and do not do. Okay, we have one last thing that we need to do, order of business, and that is our door prizes. And Kelly, we always ask our speaker or our guest to give a number between 1 and 24.
Wait, I want to do another door prize. I'll give away one free book too.
Okay.
I didn't know we were going to do door prizes. Yeah, so there'll be one free book. I don't have it to give today, but I'll get
That's fine.
the info for the person that gets it.
Okay, we'll do that separately. The other three, we'll do what, 3 door
Let's do
prizes?
3 door prizes first.
And those will be some gift certificates from Jerry's like we did last month.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just need your emails.
How many
Okay.
of them?
All right, and I need a number between 1 and 24.
Okay, 18.
18. And that is, why am I looking at y'all? Aaron Larrabee. Okay, another number.
4.
4. Oh, that's me, thank you. Might be my first door prize ever. Thank you. Okay, and another number between 1 and 24.
20.
20. Phoebe Way. Right here. Okay, so those are our 3 door prizes. Now for your door prize, how do you want to do that? 12, number 12, Carol Hartman. So yeah, you're supposed to jump on that. No, well, thank you. And again, Kelly, wonderful presentation. Thank you for your time. And I'm impressed. No way, 4 children, you're beautiful. So you're this was 3. No. Yo, I hope everybody had a great Easter, and we're moving on. I'm adjourning the meeting tonight. We look forward to our May. Don't forget to pick up your pictures if you were a winner, your coastal marshes. Put those pictures out to be judged. And don't forget May, backyard treasures. Make sure you bring your own easel to put your picture up with, and we will do that, and we'll meet you here. And Sandra Oliver has an announcement.
If anybody needs brochures for a meeting or a display that you were doing somewhere, let me know and we can make arrangements on getting copies. I've already talked to Kim about.
Okay.
She wanted some.
Okay, what she said is if you need any of the handouts or the pamphlets and all, let her know if you got something coming up, and she will make arrangements to get them to you. Ruby?
For refreshments for our May meeting, we're going to do our potluck thing that we've done before.
Our May meeting will be potluck. Everybody brings something and we'll just enjoy. All right, Karen Larrabee.
I have at my house a package of paper pulp and some screens and directions to make your own homemade paper with. If anybody would like that, I would appreciate somebody wanting it.
As she said,
My husband would love it out of our freezer. And
what did you
I will
say,
either
text
bring it
mine?
to the next meeting or I will get it
Kelly.
to you if you're not going to do that.
Tell her
But it
just to
could be
text
a
mine to
good,
her and
fun
she'll
summer
just-
project with grandkids, or little kids, or whatever, but just let me know.
I think take Kelly's word, just say, whoever messages me first gets it.
And if y'all want any macaroni salad, take home, put it in a cake pack.
Hey, please. And we adjourn this meeting of the Crooked Creek Art League. Look forward to seeing everybody in May. And again, awesome.